What's going on everyone, it's TK and today I'm going to show you some of Gaku's attacks with this insane strategy that I'm really liking it myself to be using in tournaments because it's obviously super strong and a lot more viable than other RC charge strategies in my opinion. So just gonna dive in and see how Gaku crushed these bases left and right. So here we are on Goku's attacks and we have his RC charge with the Electro Titans. This strategy is so enjoyable more than the Root Riders just because of the variety of the troops you deploy to go in the base, and of course it starts as always with an RC charge. Now he is having that RC ability. Usually whenever he pops it is around the time when the Fox is going to turn RC invisible, so he doesn't have to calculate those invisibility drops. Now RC, I think she died. I believe she died. I don't know. I didn't see the last HP. But that is one thing. If she dies, it may be no problem. Because this strategy is so strong that they will cover everything. Now he has everything going to the core. Obviously, Queen, Giant Arrow with the Siege Barracks on the side of the base. Usually he's going to go in with 1 or 2 wall breaker obviously at the beginning. But then he has a jump spell or using the King ability depending on if the King is under so much damage. So don't use the jump too early. He was watching to see if the single Inferno locks onto the King for example, so he can use the King ability and then jump later. But now that he can see everything is free, I believe, yeah, he going with the Wallbreaker. Even here he can go with the jump. He doesn't have to necessarily pop the King. He can pop the King on the Rage Tower. So he goes with the jump. Watch out for your Queen guys on the outside. Now this is where you pop that King ability, and here is where if he had the RC, he would drop her on the right side to help support this army, or from the lower side to help again support the army. And I don't think he has the RC, so he recalled basically nothing. Maybe just the Fox, I believe, but I don't know what he recalled back. I missed that, I was talking, but still, he's having that Queen on the outside. He got some Valkyries in the Siege Barracks. He always have some Barbarians. And the good thing about this strategy is that it's really tanky. It doesn't just die out. Look at these Titans. Look at the King. They just went through an entire base without dying, and I think he lost 1 Titan. Even the P.E.K.K.A.s are still alive. So you can see the power considering the Root Riders. A lot of the time with the Root Riders, when you start the attack, you kind of die out by the time you get to the middle. Like 2 Root Riders die if you don't pop an early Warden ability. And you saw how late Gaku went with his ability. So in general, this Golem and Ice Golem is a huge tank in this strategy. But let's move on to the second hit. Here we are on a double invisibility base and we're gonna see how Gaku takes this down. Now let's watch this RC charge. Of course, it's gonna be an RC walk to be honest because he doesn't have many invisibilities, but still, we're gonna see how the RC goes invisible. She's gonna be able to take down a few other defenses, and notice when she's getting a bit damage, he popped the ability, and of course that's when he dropped the invisibility. But now it's again where the Fox is gonna keep her invisible throughout her ability. That's exactly how every time he does it, he has 1 more invisibility. I think he's not gonna use it unless he knows he's gonna get into something, and obviously I think he's gonna recall the RC here. Come on, recall. Yes, he goes with the recall. Now he's with the Titans. He doesn't do too much funneling like this because obviously the Titans could just make the funnel unless you want to Archer or Barbarian on the lower side. That's obviously just for the time purposes and it would be nice. Headhunter going in, and obviously you have 2 Headhunter in this army and you can use them for your own benefits, and 2 heroes. Queen with the Giant Arrow, and you can see the main reason with the Giant Arrow is to get the invisibility towers activated. If you're doing a war attack, you don't need the Giant Arrow if the base doesn't have an invisibility tower. You can take the Magic Mirror and the healers from the Queen and pop her ability later, but notice how he dropped back the RC super quickly to help out the entire army pushing through the base. And look at that Warden ability and King ability. Obviously when the base is open like this, the Titans can reach anything. So notice how the King is going to move. Notice how you're going to pop the ability. And if you're new to the strategy, For the RC recall back to the action, just wait a bit, okay? Not like Gaku, because sometimes your king might die early and then the Titans doesn't have access to certain side of the base, meaning you have to break through walls and Titans aren't the best troops for that action. So you can drop the RC in those areas where the Titans or your queen cannot reach. So that would be my tip on how to deploy back the RC into the action. But let's dive into the third attack. So here we are on a poison and rage tower combo. Okay, so I'm trying to bring you all the bases. Obviously Gaku been hitting a lot, and it's good to see all these like players in this clan also hit war attacks. Obviously sometimes they are a bit what do you call it, like they have too much to going on, so they don't attack in war and they just loot, and that is fine sometimes, but it would be always nice to see when these players attack, because you can see the strategies that they're using and how they're using it. That's important. Now notice Gaku mostly drop his RC on either 12, 6, 3 or 9. This is automatic funneling. This is like, you don't need to think. Like, Gaku didn't drop the RC into insane damage to take the entire base out. He didn't drop her into enemy king, which was a bit risky if the RC locks on. He just dropped her literally simply for a small funnel. And now this is where I'm telling you the power of this strategy, insane. And with the Yak, with the wallbreakers, with the king ability and the jump spell, you basically have access to every entire side of the base, of every base. That's simple, I can put it for you. But notice he's still not even deployed the jump, because he doesn't know if the king or the Yak will break through the wall early, and now he's going with the jump. He can pop the king ability on the town hall, but notice he tries to keep the queen alive with skelly spell, with free spells, or with the siege barracks troops. So it's important to note, even if the queen is under too much damage very soon, you can drop the RC with the queen. Don't drop the RC alone and very further away from the army. Now, king ability opens everything, and this is the only attack that the Titans died really early. It's 65% and the Titans died. Now he's gonna go in with a mass group of barbarians just to come in front of the queen. Obviously this is where he knew it's going to be a triple, and he just needs to keep the queen alive. It's going to be a lot closer, but as we saw from that RC charge, you obviously don't get much, so the rest of the base will be harder to finish. But unless you have good, like, kind of I would say perspective of the way you drop your barbarians, the way you deploy your spells, you're always gonna get those triples left and right. And notice the queen, oh my god, she just died. RC, what is actually his ability? It's actually level 27. That is insane. But this attack is gonna come a bit closer, and in general Goku just overpowering with this strategy on every base. He's been tripling a lot in the recent war, and big shout out to him. Thankfully, he brings this strategy for us, because obviously I was gonna do it in my own like kind of version of it in hard mode and tournaments and record it for you, but I saw Gaku did it, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do Gaku's version. But guys, one thing I want to kind of do an announcement on is I'm going to have a Discord channel, and the link of it will be down below in the description, so you can join right now. There's going to be channels where I put the bases with base builder, or build a base actually, and then clan capital, the home village, war, CWL bases. There's going to be a general chat for you guys to talk. Obviously it's a bit late for that, I know I should have done the Discord channel earlier, but I was going to kind of make sure I have a very good community, and a large community basically for myself, actually quite large. A big shout out to all of you, man. You guys been amazing, so I would appreciate if you can join that Discord channel, and we're gonna see what happens in the future, because soon I'm gonna bring a membership to the YouTube as well, with a lot, nearly 60 bases a month on that membership, and it's gonna be pretty cheap. Trust me on that. So go for it and join the channel on the Discord. The link again will be down below in the description, and the link of this army will also be down below if you want to give it a try. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and take care. Peace.